This is Lion 3, straight to video. I love how they name any episode with the lion, like Lion 2, Lion 3. It's actually really funny. Again, no Rob, like I said. Next couple he'll probably be out of, but man, of all the ones to miss. Shit. Another big laydown of a lot of information. But also very emotional, very nice. It starts off with Steven just sort of messing around with his lion, and oh, I'm forgetting her name. Is it Sadie? Yeah, Sadie talking about how her mom always makes her lunches and she's kind of sick of it and stuff while they're looking for something to eat. So, whatever, they're goofing around and stuff, and then Steven has a dream that he can't breathe and he doesn't know why. He's in this pink land, and then it turns out it's just Lion laying on top of him. Tee-hee-ha-ha. And then we find out that Pearl likes to watch Steven sleep. Seeing how Steven's just a kid, he's like, oh, okay, weird, just go away, and I don't think he realizes quite how weird that is. But once again, he falls asleep and wakes up in this pink world, and it turns out it's the lion's mane. There's like this whole entire world in the lion's mane, and he tries to go in there. He goes into the mane, and he discovers a few things there. He discovers like a guitar. He discovers this VHS that says for Steven. He discovers this Mr. Universe shirt that was probably his dad's, and then he also discovers, we don't know what it is. It's kind of this bubbled upside down pyramid, something like that. I want to say we've seen something like that before, the pyramid, but maybe not. He takes the VHS, goes, watches it with Sadie, and Sadie, God, I'm sorry if I'm, how terrible I am with names, and with turning my phone off, shame on me. Yeah, he pretty much watches this video, and it's a video of Steven's mom talking about, she's filming it for Steven. First time we see the mother. I think it's the first time they reveal that picture. They show all of it anyway. And we see that the, that the video is actually sort of an introduction to Steven while she's still pregnant with him, and that the father's there just playing the guitar and stuff. We don't even know if he knows what we're about to find out, which is that when Steven is born, she can't exist. She becomes half of Steven, I guess. It's how gems work, I suppose. And so now we figure out what happened to her. And it's interesting, did Steven know that? Did even the gems know that? I'm not sure, because Steven doesn't show the video to the other gems. He decides to sort of sneak away, which I kind of like. I like there's almost sort of like this, a little bit of this separation happening between him and the gems. Which I would kind of get too after all the stuff that's happened, and kind of how aggressive they can be. So, yeah, so he goes, we find out that it's, that he's pretty much, half of him is the mother, pretty much. And she says that, the stuff you'd expect, that she loves him, and that, anytime you feel good about yourself or wonderful, that's going to be her. And she does a star wipe on the video, which is interesting. At first I really laughed because I'm like, oh my god, it's at the end of the episode. It's like, no, there's more. But then that gets me thinking, how much is like, is all of this being watched by somebody? Because they all end with the star wipes, so who knows. And even the button, like, he says, push the stop button, and oh, let's see what this does, and like this little line of like rainbows and stars goes by, and it's like, did cameras back then, even those old cameras, have like those operations, where it can do those kind of weird wipes and stuff like that? Or was that just like something magical that happened right there? And it's like, no, it'll be a big thing in another episode, or maybe it's just a rainbow wipe, who knows. Yeah, but it kind of makes me wonder, it's like, is somebody watching this, or are these kind of like, were these all kind of being filmed, or they all end with the star wipe or something? I don't know, probably thinking too deep into it. And then afterwards, both him and Sadie are done watching the video. He goes home, he thanks Lion, and then she calls up her mom and says that she's actually really thankful for making the lunches. Oh, it's very, very sweet, very, very nice. I'm going to call my mom right after this. Yeah, so I like these episodes that can combine sort of the, they can do a lot of exposition and reveal more of the mystery, but they're very heartfelt and they're very loving. And this one felt like a really good gel of the two. Especially like when he would fall asleep and wake up, in the lion's mane, and he would think it's part of the dream. And it would keep happening, and they realize it's not dreaming. But then there's that nice little touch on it, too, of him having to hold his breath when going in, like he can't breathe in the mane, even though there appears to be sky and everything else there. And it's also very obvious the lion knows Steven, or at least knows Steven's mom, obviously, and probably recognizes Steven now as the mother. So, I think he's either trying to help explain things, or, maybe for him it's just like, no, it's time to do this. You'll always do this, right? Steven's mother, come on, go in the mane. It's time to go in the mane again. So, although it has a feel of like, it has a feel like he's trying to teach him, trying to teach him that this is your path, this is your route and everything. And particularly at when time is right scenarios, because why doesn't he just do all this stuff? I mean, he just sort of sits around and sleeps and does whatever. So that's an interesting development now, knowing that Steven is half the mother. Kind of like whatever, reincarnated or just in the gem, or however this all works. I don't know, man. The whole Pearl watching him sleep and everything, it's just, I'm feeling like the evidence is piling up, man. I think they had a thing. Or I think at least she had Pearl either had like a crush, or she had like some kind of connection to her, Rose, I think. We don't know what it is, but it's like, if she would watch Steven while he sleeps, that's interesting. She was embarrassed to reveal it as well. It wasn't like, oh, I was just watching you to see if anything happens when you sleep or something like that, though maybe that's something too. Maybe when Rose slept, something happened. We don't know entirely how the gems work. So maybe she's watching hoping something will happen, or maybe she just likes watching Steven sleep because it reminds her a lot of Rose. That's what I'm feeling. The direction the show usually goes is usually the very affectionate ones, and the ones that have very nice feelings to it and stuff. So I'm assuming it's heading that direction, but I don't know. I don't know if this came out before or after Korra, so we don't know if this is like something that can happen yet or not, or if they're just very strongly hinting at it. So, but I don't know. That's there's like a million clues pointing to this. So either they're building up this one thing and it's just like, haha, we actually did this the whole time, but knowing the show and how much they really sort of like these relationships and these connections and stuff like that, that's the guess I'm going with. So again, I sort of, the few episodes I've seen, again, I'll point them out when I see them, the show does, I say it a million times, but it really does interesting things with identity. And if that is the route they're going, I think that'd be like a fascinating route. That'd be a really interesting route. Because you could argue stuff about reincarnation, or even taking that out, just how much of a person is passed on to the child, how much is nature and nurture and stuff. So I think there's a lot you can do with that. So yeah, it's a big reveal. It's a nice emotional episode. It's an interesting direction that it's taking, and I like it. I really like the direction it's going, and it's, again, when you have sort of like this big bomb like that dropped, it's exciting when it's not like, oh, now that's answered. Because you can do that. You can have something that's like, oh, now that's answered, now we know this. But the plus, like the real sugar on top, is now what can we do with this? What other additional things can we do with this information? And going back now, what can we learn about these characters in past episodes, knowing this information? So now I'm really, really curious. That's just all the more fascinating. So yeah, that's about it. Really, really good episode. Definitely really enjoy it. Nice to finally see what Steven's mom looks like as well. And yeah, I think that's about it for this one. I will see you at the next one. Later.